And then of course you want to draw a line going down from the nose towards the mouth. And fill in just around under the nose as well. And you also want to put a little dimple under the chin. Not a dimple, that's not the right word. And that should not meet up with the gel, so you don't want the gels to be coming around and going straight into that. You want there to be a gap in between. So whether you bring that in a little bit more and bring the gels out. And be careful when you're doing shading around the mouth. You don't want to do too much and you want to blend it out a lot. Okay, so now we've got all of our shading in, and now we want to go and accentuate those a little bit more by putting a highlight. So the first place I'm going to do that is around the nose. I'm taking a different brush, and again I'm using a little bit of the 72 and a little bit of 70, which is the white. And I'm just going to do that down the centre. And that's just going to lift everything out and make it a little bit more three-dimensional. I'm going to do it next to the shading. Now, you don't want to do it white. You want to use a light colour, but stay away from white at this stage. Unless you want to make it really, really bold and stand out. That's more for if you were doing theatre and you had a very big auditorium. That's the sort of scenario that you do it. So I'm doing this a little bit bolder than I normally would, just so that it shows up on the camera. And then close your eyes. That's really going to pull the eye down a little bit more. Okay, so I've just plotted down basically where I'm going to have them, and now I'm going to go and blend them all out. And whether you use a brush or whether you use your finger or a sponge, totally up to you and your subject. But you can see the difference when you've got the highlight in and not having the highlight in. There's a huge difference. Just pulls everything out, just makes things a little bit more three-dimensional. There's a few things around the eyes and the eyebrows and the lips that are things that always give away that it's a young person. So one way to do the lips is to scrub your lips. Do the same thing we did for the crow's feet. So take a lighter colour, you dab that across. And then you can relax. And then you want to take your white and just want to bring some of those lines down past the lip line so that it doesn't look like a clean lip line. And then I'm taking a little bit of the red, which is 79, and this colour here, just a tiny little bit of this colour here, which is 82. Only a tiny bit of the 82, the darker colour. We mostly want to get the red colour. And then I'm going to take the brush I used for the shading, just wipe it off a little bit because I don't have a million brushes. And then you just want to do the same thing, so you're going to do them outside the lip line, mostly just across the lip. Not heaps because they don't have really deep dark coloured lips. I probably should have used even less of the 82 and more of the red. And I'm going to take a gauze sponge and using those same colours, more of the red, you can just dab that across sort of in a triangle around here. Sometimes a little bit on the nose and the chin looks good, but mostly on the cheeks, and that's just to and that's just going to be your broken veins. Now for the eyebrows, you just want to use, if at all possible, a water-based cake colour rather than a grease paint. Whenever you're working in here, you always want to try and use a water-based because it's going to come out a lot easier. And I'm just mixing it with a little bit of water on the end of an eyebrow brush. I'm just going to brush the brows backwards. Alright, so that's pretty much done. So now you want to grab a powder, and if you can use a powder puff, you just want to sort of press it on in rolling motions like this. Alright, now one thing that makes a huge difference in the overall effect of aging is the hair. So just taking out a little bit of that colour, even if it's just a little bit. Just taking the pigment out of it. Makes it look just that little bit more realistic, even if you just do it around the temples. And you can use just talcum powder and just dust that in, or you can use a grey paint. I've actually got a silver grey hair colour by Ben. I haven't used it before, so I'm going to play with it. I actually don't know how to use it. But for this bit around here, I've just used the same colour that I used in the brows, and that was a Grimace Cake Makeup in W1, which is quite a pale colour, just a water-based colour. I'll try using a bit of this as well. Ooh, that looks really cool. Okay, so you remember earlier how I said that it's generally best to stick away from black and white because they are so strong. The only reason that you would do it is if you had an extremely large auditorium and you just want to deepen those just so the people in the back can see. And you would only use the tiniest amount. I can't stress that enough. And the same thing with the white, if you are going to use it, only use a tiny little bit. So you can see the difference between this side here, which doesn't have any of the black or white, and I've sort of blended it out a little bit more than I had the other side. And this side here, which has black and white. So there's a huge difference. There's a lot more impact. You can see.